Hello and welcome to the video. If you can see, got a bit of tile adhesive on me, so I've been doing some tiling. If you are interested in what tile adhesive I used in this video, I've got it here. So it's a super flexible Map-I product, C2TE S1. I believe that's cementitious, so it's got a cement background. It is porcelain tiles I'm laying, but this is for the underlay matting and those porcelain tiles. Suitable for ply as well, which is what it is up there, hardwood ply. And yeah, S1 means it's flexible, and I cannot remember what the T and E means. Okay, the T and E means reduced slip and also as well extended open time, so you've got that extra pot life on there. This is my tiling setup. So I've got a flexible backer board as it's over ply. So yeah, flexible backer board, and we've got flexible adhesive to stick it down. It's a felt fleecy backed backer board. Most importantly, comfortable footwear, and these can be changed into knee pads, especially when kneeling on this. It's like kneeling on a cheese grater. It's not great for your knees. So working out my tile bond, doing my cuts is step one, and then just do a dry lay. I find that's the best way to do it. This isn't the first bathroom I've tiled. I would actually rate my tiling, so I'm happy to give a little mini DIY style guide on it. The complicated bit is when it gets to the walls on this one, because I've got to do the bond all the way around. Actually 5 walls, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's the same size as one tile for the niche, so I've got to match the bond. Got to start from the ground somewhere and get all the way over to here. So that will not be today. I'm going to do the tile first, tile the floor first, and then cover it over with some sheets to protect it, just so I can work out the heights of my tiles, because I want one whole tile to start at the top of the bath in line to make this 600 by 300 niche work. One more thing I nearly forgot. Yeah, so you need to double, triple chins. You need to work out where your tiles are going to finish either side of the room. Otherwise, you don't want a small sliver. It looks awful. You see it in other people's bathrooms. I say other people's. See it in people's bathrooms. Yeah, doesn't look great. So try plan ahead. Sorry about this LED flicker as well. Yeah, try plan ahead. So you want to work out an even cut this side with this side if it doesn't finish on a whole tile. Otherwise, you're going to end up with a sliver one end in it. I think it looks silly. So how my tile bond's going to work? I'm going to do a brick bond. These tiles, there's 6 different variations of the colour on the front. I won't bore you with those, but essentially I want a whole tile here on this corner. It will partially be covered over. I'm going to do 18mm moisture resistant painted MDF border over here, and a magnetic access panel on the end there to get to the wastes and to get to the water supplies. But yeah, this here will be full tile cut, which sort of dictates my shape this way as well, but luckily that's pretty even. So you place your tile on top, and obviously I want my cut edge to be this side. Still, unless you're worried about where the bond's going to go and what the coloration is on top, you mark the opposite. Or you could do it upside down. If you're doing laminate, for example, you've got tongue and a groove edge, so you do it upside down to mark the same. Here, I'm not worried about which way the tile's flowing, so put it to where I want it, roughly. Where I haven't tiled the wall, I've got a lot to play with, because it's still got tile to go on the wall, and then there'll be a silicone gap around the edges. So I know that's square, the bath panel end, so I butt it up to there. There we go. If I can get it even, this gap. Now mark So obviously the line's there. And then I just want to take this edge off all the way down, flip it over, stick it down. So quite square up to the edges I've done. And then you're squaring off the edge of the tile. Most tiles should be pretty accurate. I mean, you do get a bit of bowing cupping in cheaper tiles particularly. And I've got my straight line there. It's going to be cut a little bit wider both sides because of the blade. But I've got an amount of play. And then you just want some form of straight edge. I'm using a plasterer's derby. Continue that line all the way across. Don't lose my pencil. I'm choosing weapon of choice for this. For straight cuts, I wouldn't actually recommend this. It's just I don't have a long tile cutter. My friend was meant to lend me one, but he hasn't. Not his fault. My fault for not asking, or reminding him rather. Yeah, but I've got diamond blade here. Porcelain tiles. But yeah, just going to run it along here. Got a sacrificial board underneath in case I clip it. But yeah, mask on, goggles on, and just go for it. It needs to be fairly accurate, but I'm not too worried. And I'm just going to try keep slightly to the right of this line. This blade, it's fairly accurate, the cut. If I butt it up to the edge of this board, you can see how neat it is. I just scored across it a couple of times with that and then just snapped it off.
Here I'm doing my dry lay, so I'm doing a brick bond, so that 50-50 bond. You can see the pencil mark on that tile near the top, and I'm just going through, doing all my cuts, getting my pattern right, and yeah, making sure it works for the bath. So there will be an 18mm thick bath panel going along, so I actually pushed the tiles over, so I'm just accounting for that gap.
So once you manage to get all the cuts done, one of the last and crucial cuts, which I see a lot of people get wrong, particularly when they're doing this and a door isn't on, is getting your door thickness. So you want it to be less than the thickness of your door. And if you're doing a transition strip, think of what you're going to have in the hallway. So if it's going to be carpet, for example, which a lot of people will have in their hallways upstairs, then you're going to want to have it where the runner meets, the carpet runner underneath the door meets underneath the door, so you don't see the transition from either side of the room. But yeah, there's the cuts. Those two gaps over in the corner here, and here. I'm gonna probably double back aboard this just to get rid of it. Just worked out full tile, and it was perfect to the door. I think it's too much ag and I would lose my bond through here. So I'm not going to do that. Whereas here it's like 20-30 mil. So if I double back aboard that, and then when I actually go to tile that, it will sit off and then it will just about cover them both. Silicon gap if anything.
And finally it's actually sticking down the tiles. So I'm using a tile spacer leveling system. Although these tiles have a bit of cupping in them, it does take it out of them quite well if you use enough of them. And then it just really bonds down. It's a flexible adhesive I'm using on the floor on top of this flexible matting. I think it's a Mapai product, and I'm just using the grey one. It's quite expensive nowadays. I think it's like 22, 23 pound a bag, and it took one bag to do this floor. So I was pretty happy. It's looking pretty good. You can see here, once I've taken out all the clips, how clean it looks. So I was getting ready to cover it all over. Just looking through it, and then I spot this. Yeah, so I wasn't very happy with a couple of the gaps. along the wall, so I decided to redo one of them, and there was this chip as well. So I had to break up 2 of the tiles and clear off the matting and restart the tiling process. This is maybe 12 hours after, so the adhesive hasn't fully gone off, well, the bits that are underneath the tiles, so it wasn't terrible to get it out of the matting, but I probably spent about 40 minutes getting it out of the 2. I'm just using literally a screwdriver and scraping it all out, trying not to touch any of the other tiles. And yeah, getting in the new tile in that corner where I wasn't happy with the gap, and also trying to get it level because I can't reuse that same leveling system. And then same again, splooged in loads more adhesive, and I'm actually standing on this just to squish it down, and then that adhesive squidges underneath the local tiles as well, so it bonds to them and creates that one surface. Just squidging it down, you see it all splooging out. But yeah, just repeat that process, cleaning it all off. Every minute spent cleaning the tile at this point is 5 minutes saved if you leave any of the adhesive on.
If I could, I would get myself out this mess. If I could, I would get myself out this madness. If I could, I would get myself out this mess. If I could, I would get myself out this madness.
Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in another video. If you did have any questions on this, how much it cost, how long it took, anything like that, just ask away in the comments. Don't mind answering them. Pretty much an open book on these things. Thanks for watching. Bye.